righty.
Morning. Let see if we got. Who's on the iPhone 4?
That's probably Dot
Oh, okay. And Bruce.
and
Morning,
Bruce.
Bruce.
Yeah.
Morning.
So,
Huh.
want to do reading I've done before, but it always strikes me, as I said, it was in one of those dark romances about people who are immortal. And one of the things that they do to overcome the boredom of living 400 or 500 years is to practice mindfulness. And so here's this book, which is a nice little bit of fluff. I don't even know how I ended up reading it, but it's really apropos of what Dinah was just saying about smelling carrots for the first time. We tend to hear things like Jesus saying life abundant as if it's meaning past tense or if it means something in the physical sense. There's all those metaphysical things that are promising you that you'll have abundant wealth. I think more what the point is um, in an approach we call voluntary simplicity. You make yourself wealthy by making your needs few. The fewer things that you need or convince yourself that you need, the more you recognize that you have everything you need in this moment. That's what Santosha is. Santosha is the practice of contentment. Can I be content with what I have right now? Who I am right now, who I'm with right now. So mindfulness is inviting us uh, not so much to enter some ecstatic spiritual state, which a lot of us think. It's not an end to pain or suffering. It's not an end to anything. It's a way of seeing the world, and I like the way this is put. What we do here is give you a crash course in relearning the significance of moments, of minutes. You'll learn the skill of being fully aware, fully present in the now. You'll relearn how to feel your life, how to value each experience, and you'll feel happier and more complete afterwards. Working in the garden, preparing a meal, cleaning up, these tasks may seem repetitive and boring, but for someone who is mindful, they're almost unbearably full. We spend most of our time searching for the next big emotion, the next huge event, the next huge physical sensation. Because after a while, we become so numb, that's the only time we can feel. But the gift of mindfulness is that you will learn to value every moment that your hands are immersed in suds, to see and smell each weed you pull, to feel the hard smoothness of a turnip, to really taste the earthy greenness of its leaves, to be within your own skin without wanting to run around screaming, and to enjoy yourself, value yourself, and know yourself. And once you do that, you'll be able to love, to really love someone else. So what this really is, and there's a Unitarian minister named Arthur Foote who was way ahead of his time. As a matter of fact, he was in Minneapolis, St. Paul. Um, and he wrote a book called Taking Down the Defenses. It's one of my favorite book of meditational readings. And I like that image that we find the first half of our life building layer after layer of defenses, and that mindfulness provides us with a structure environment to begin dismantling those defenses, to soften. That's why the book I'm writing is called Soften. Um, so we learn to soften physically in our bodies, we learn to soften emotionally to our emotions and the emotion of others, we learn to soften in our thinking, begin to see more compassionately. So it's a rigorous training in moving backwards through our lives. stripping away the addictions, stripping away the defenses, stripping away the layers of defenses in our body, and becoming again as a little child. So when Jesus talks about having the eyes to see that the kingdom is in our midst, he literally means that. We put that in the afterlife, that is out there, but we can't see it. No, he's saying it's right here in front of us. And what neuroscience is telling us is that our brain filters out 99% of our reality, and what we see is basically being determined by our childhood programming. And it's not until we can actually see the reality of those thoughts that shape what we expect or what we're able to see, that we can really appreciate what this program can bring. So a lot of what you bring to the cushion is going to determine, in terms of your expectations, in terms of your attitudes, will either encourage you to stay or encourage you to leave. So we're going to start with Sharon Salzberg. Again, Sharon is, to me, a wonderfully humble teacher. She's not one of the beautiful people on the circuit. She's not one of the really slick talkers, but she is very to the point, and to me, helps enter into it and engage it in a very everyday kind of way that makes it very useful and applicable. So today she's going to be talking to us about something that I'm sure those of you who are experienced meditators have noticed, is that so much meditation is finding a balance, a very fine line. Today, one of those balances is between alertness and relaxation. So she's going to do a very good job of explaining it. I'm going to do more, but
Okay, here we go.
Introduction. There are so many ways to practice meditation: in stillness and in movement, in silence or giving voice to our aspirations and ideals. This course emphasizes practices done in stillness and silence. See bonus walking meditation, though, which help reinforce skills we can take with us into any kind of contemplative practice or tradition, like being able to begin again once distracted, dealing with physical or emotional challenges, and being able to more fully enjoy the good and wondrous experiences that come our way. Most importantly, these are skills we take into our everyday lives. Because we are largely practicing meditating in stillness, for most people that is sitting or lying down. If you are sitting, we usually talk about a balance in one's posture. You want some energy in your body, which means sitting up straight, but not so much energy you're stiff or uptight. You also want to be relaxed and at ease, not so relaxed that you're way slumped over. You can find what feels like a balanced posture to you. Lying down is fine, though you might find yourself sleepier in that position, and if so, sit up again if you can, or practice with eyes open. In general, you can sit with eyes closed or open, and can also change midway through the practice as needed. If your eyes are open, they can be just a little bit open, and you then rest your gaze. In any posture, if you feel very sleepy or feel uneasy about closed eyes, it's perfectly fine to open them and continue the practice. People often ask me about using the guided meditation recordings and/or listening to music while meditating. If you find it helpful, I think it's good to use, but perhaps not all of the time. My personal goal for you is that you have enough confidence and clarity about these techniques so you can bring them into your lives. For example, if you spend some dedicated period each day resting your attention on the feeling of your breath as a centering tool, and you're then at work or commuting, and someone is getting angry and you're getting anxious, you have your breath as a support to be more centered. You don't need equipment. You don't have to close your eyes and look weird. You don't have to reach for a recording. It's private, independent, and freeing. People also ask about the best place to meditate and the best time to meditate. I know different yogic traditions say practice first thing in the morning, which works as a meaningful way to start the day. My own teachers seem very pragmatic about it. Their advice could be summed up as whenever and wherever you can actually do it. For some, or on some days, that might mean first thing in the morning. For some, it might be last thing at night. I had one student who used to drive to work early and sit in his car in the parking lot before going into the building. If you can arrange it, do try for a relatively undisturbed spot for meditation. The distractions can't be completely controlled. Some people have the ability to create a spot, even in a corner, for regular practice, and that can be a powerful reminder. But the pragmatics really do prevail, wherever and whenever you can do it. And for how long? Dr. Amishi Jha, neuroscientist at the University of Miami, studies meditation for those in high-stress professions, like people serving in the military, first responders, or high-performance athletes. She reports her lab finding that 12-minute sessions 3 to 5 times a week is having real impact on people's lives. This gives you something of a ballpark. Self-knowledge also figures into that determination. For example, I have told Amici that for me, 3 to 5 times a week doesn't work that well. It will be Monday and I'll think, I'll just start on Wednesday. Then it will be Wednesday and I'll think, I'll do it 3 times on Saturday, and I'll never do it. For me, every day is a better structure. I'd suggest you choose a period that seems reasonable to you, say 2 weeks or a month or more. Experience the different meditations offered here and commit to a daily practice of one or more of them. If one day you only have 5 minutes, do the 5 minutes. If you skip some period of time, no need to berate yourself. Simply see if you can begin again. I'd suggest setting an alarm or use an app to time the sittings, if possible, so you don't have to continually check the time. If you have others available to practice with at times, even virtually, that can be a good support. But it isn't essential to deepening one's practice and might not always be available. 2 of the forces that we're cultivating in meditation practice are tranquility and energy, or calmness and alertness, relaxation and investigation. In any method of meditation, we work to bring these together, to bring them into balance. Let's just take one of the suggested meditations as an example, feeling the sensations of the breath. How are you with the breath? Are you way far back and don't care really what it feels like? Come forward a little bit. Feel the actual sensations at the nostrils, at the chest, or at the abdomen. Do you have sort of a death grip on the breath, thinking, if I hold on really tight, my mind won't wander, when in fact it will actually wander more? Maybe you need to relax a bit. If you can feel yourself in the place in the middle with tranquility and alertness, you'll see how just one breath is tremendously fulfilling. We're not overriding it. We're not shrinking back from it. We're rather meeting it completely. With any object in the present moment, breath, sounds, sensations, or thoughts and emotions, it follows the same principle of balanced awareness. Sometimes in my own practice, I use this image of holding something very fragile, very precious, like something made of glass in my hand. If I were to grab it too tightly, it would shatter and break. But if I were to get lazy or negligent and my hand would fall open, it would fall off and break. So I just cradle it. I'm in touch with it. I cherish it. And so too we are with each breath or object of awareness. We don't want to grab it too tight nor be too loose, too energized or too relaxed. We meet this moment and we cherish it, one moment at a time. Sleepiness and restlessness are tremendously common in meditation practice. It's not your fault or personal flaw, and it doesn't mean you need remedial work. Here too, we look for balance. If you have too little energy, you'll get sleepy, sluggish, dull. You can sit up a little straighter. If your eyes have been closed, you can open them up. Maybe take a few deep breaths to allow the sensation to be more intense. And then once again, allow the breath to become natural. It may be that a more elaborate object than the breath will pick up your energy, like moving your attention throughout your body, picking up different sensations, or switching to a movement meditation. If you have too much energy, you'll feel restless, agitated, worried. If that happens, see if you can feel the sensations of one breath, as though your hands were in water and you felt the water swirling around, all the different sensations. Find the comfortable or easeful sensations in your body. So too with your mind, your attention. See if you can step back from the torrent of agitated thinking and observe it instead of being immersed in it. All the skills for balancing are contained in the guided meditation instruction. And as much as possible, have a good time. There is no wrong experience to be had. Meditation works on transforming our relationship to all experience, pleasant, painful, and neutral. I think of it as an experiment that is very empowering. If we put some energy into it and genuinely try it out, we see for ourselves if there are benefits and if we want to continue.
We'll begin silence.
So let's go back to her point, which is learning to control the focus of our awareness, is basically what she's talking about. Um, we generate this energy inside of us. The Chinese traditions talk about it as the mind energy, the energy that gets created in our bodies by what we put attention on. So when you think about it as a light, then I'm shining the light on my internal experience. That light can either be very broad or it can be very narrow. Tends to become more intense the more focused it is, just like with a flashlight beam. And you've got those things where you can twist the end of it and you either get a very narrow beam or a very wide beam. So what we were playing with today was the idea that one of the aspects of this awareness that we can control in our meditation is how much energy we're putting into the meditation. And that's going to be dependent upon how relaxed we are. So I want you to notice the
Contradiction.
the contradiction. Hang on. Okay, I don't know how we got to that. Okay. So, you know, the reason for being relaxed is the tighter I am, the less energy I'm going to be able to move out. What she's talking about, the energy being undisciplined, is the more energy I have relative to what I can put into my awareness of what's happening is going to be experienced as an excess and keep drawing me out of my meditation, if that makes any sense. So notice how scattered your ability to stay focused becomes when you've got too much energy. Does that make any sense to people? Also notice how unbalanced it gets when there's too little energy, which is why I focus when I guide you in meditation on the last few minutes, because one of the things we'll do in Tai Chi is horse stance, where you stand with your feet wide and you go into a squat, and then you hold that for about 6 minutes. Well, the last 5 minutes are spent with your legs doing this, okay? The energy's being discharged, but it's being discharged in a very random, unfocused kind of way. And that's what begins to happen at the end of your meditation. You'll notice you start paying attention to your foot and how much you're in pain you're in. You begin to have intrusive thoughts beginning to pile on you more. You begin to think about the time, how much longer do I have to go? I want this to be over. So all of this is grist for the mill. All of this is learning what can I do internally to begin to shift. So she told you, if you're getting too sleepy, open your eyes. Let the energy coming in through what you're seeing provide you with the energy and sustain you in staying alert a little bit longer. If you're too distracted, close your eyes because you're chasing that stuff. That'll help the energy become a little bit more focused. You can control it with your breath. The more you slow the exhale, the calmer you become. The more you inhale and make the exhale longer, the more energy you'll get, like Bhastrika breath in yoga, that short out breath. So these are all techniques for maintaining your balance, learning those sort of internal controls to keep you in the present moment, to keep you anchored, to keep that energy anchored in this moment. Fully present in the present, taking all these different wants. I want, I want, I want. That's the grasping. It's going to grab at anything it can get a hold of that's around. External distractions, internal distractions, pains, thoughts, whatever. And learning how to keep remembering I'm here in the present. It's an invitation don't have to take it. So, any questions, any comment?
One one thing that came to mind, and I think we've talked about this before, is I place myself in the ocean and I think the words rise as I breathe in, which brings me up out of the water, and rest, and I come down. And as she was talking about staying awake, I thought, if I'm on the water, I better make sure I rise, or because if I rest too much, I'm going to go under.
Mhm.
Good one.
It took me about a year. My first year meditating, I remember those meditations as being hyper stiff and hyper alert. So I think it took at least a year to learn to relax a little bit.
And you can see that um, because a lot of the images that we have of meditators is we don't realize how much we're impacted by images. That really hits at sixth chakra. Like when we're studying race relations,
Okay.
one of the things we look at is what are the images of Black people that you see on TV? This is back when I was with the Black White Communication Task Force. And generally, if you're going to display poverty, you have a Black person. And if you're going to display wealth, you're going to show a white person. You don't ever show a picture of a wealthy Black person and a poor white person. So these are those kind of unconscious biases that are going on. Well, if every meditator that you see is some stiff-backed young woman at a retreat center and her Lululemons and incense going, you begin to think that that's what this is about. You don't see a guy in overalls sitting in his pickup truck meditating, but one of my best students is a guy, and Jeremy knows who I'm talking about, uh, who runs around and does building maintenance stuff, and he meditates in his truck. I guarantee you he's a lot more relaxed, engaged, and present than someone who's trying to embody an external image of what a meditator is supposed to look like. Does that make sense? So why do we have Buddhas? And I've been wanting to talk to you about this. If you come to my house, one of my favorite ones is a Balinese one, and it's the Buddha sitting with his leg like this and his arm like this. It's called the Buddha in repose.
I had it at World Market.
Yeah, and if you ever get a chance to find one, I find that uh, it's a great thing to look at because it's not totally gone and not present, but it's an awareness of embodied peace and tranquility. Now, I also have a statue of Avalokiteshvara, who's an embodiment of Kuan Yin. And in this one, he's sitting with one leg on the floor, one leg bent. He's rested like this, but he's very upright and alert. So he is really a very good visual of that. I can move the minute I need to. I'm in this moment, but I'm totally relaxed in this moment. There's no battle to fight. But if there is, I'm going to be the first one in it. It's kind of where you want to be. You know, right now there's no battle. And so that's one of the things I remind myself. I'm safe in this moment. I'm safe. In this moment, I can let go of all those external things. I'm safe in this moment. Anybody else?
Tommy.
What stuck with me during the meditation was what you said at the very beginning, which is make yourself wealthy by making your needs few.
Yep.
And for me, what that means spiritually wealthy, making yourself your spiritual needs few. And meditation has really helped with getting rid of your needs for, scratching the itches and accumulating things and focusing on stuff that doesn't really matter. It's one of the things I find as I get older, that is beneficial, which is downsizing my brain as well as the rest of my life, downsizing out of all the stuff I don't need anymore, out of all of the burdens, all of the needs. So I become wealthier spiritually because I've been able to downsize out of all the things I no longer need.
Excellent. And
Good one.
that, if you ever get a chance, there was a couple of books out, one called Voluntary Simplicity and one called Less is More. And it's fundamental to the ecological movement as far as an attitude mindset. We're taught that the accumulation of things is what life is about. That's American consumerism. He who has the most toys when they die wins. And it always amazes me that it's the antithesis of what Jesus taught, and yet it's the foundation of American Protestant work ethic. So Socrates very much was a part of this, and one day his disciples found him in the marketplace, and they said, "What in the world are you doing here?" And he says, "I'm out here looking at all the things I don't need." And that's become one of Linnell's favorite things when we go out shopping. What am I doing here? I'm out here looking at all the things I don't need.
Yeah.
But the flip side of that was a woman in AA who said, "Every time I see something pretty, I have to buy it." That's another
no.
form of addiction.
Oh, no.
But one that I think we can relate to, that momentary grasping for things.
I can resist everything but temptation.
Yes, exactly. Look who's here.
Look who's back.
Hey, Julie.
Julie.
Must be a time zone problem.
World traveler. You're muted. Can't hear you.
I knew to come at 7 a.m. and I meant to, but I'm packing always, headed to Colorado. Saturday, I think I'll be in Texas. I'm not sure. I can't even think what day that is, but I wanted to make sure I could remember the password and see your lovely faces. And so I'll be joining you and maybe even seeing you, by October at least. I'll be in Austin for a while.
Great. I think Linnell's going to a yoga thing in October in Austin.
In Austin.
So maybe I'll.
Fantastic. Well, y'all look great.
You.
Thank you.
So, any other questions or comments?
Well, before we leave this introductory teaching, there was something that she talked about that I would like to address, and that is the idea of a formal daily practice. And I'm as guilty as the next person of not maybe creating that, whatever it is, 12 minutes a day for 3 to 5 days a week. Yes, it's easy to come here and spend an hour together. Does that make does that make up for 5 12-minute practices? No, it doesn't. And there are benefits to a daily practice. Um, I might say that, I could do better at that. Um, Finding the time to set aside, be it 5 minutes or 1 minute or 12 minutes, to sit and meditate. And we all know what that is here. And so it's a matter of creating that. And yes, sitting is a formal meditation. There are other types of meditation. Yoga is a moving meditation if done in a
Mindfully.
certain way. Um, weed garden, whatever. But there is benefit from sitting. And we lose sight of that maybe. And so challenge perhaps, but maybe to create that is my intention.
Mhm. That's a good point. A way of thinking about it is that every time you sit in the same place, you're building associations there that this is a place where I go to let go of external distractions and turn inward. If it's in your home and it's a beautiful place, all of that stuff encourages that, shuts off your defenses. That you don't have as many things to stimulate your fight or flight response. So, and you begin to build an aura. How many of you have been in therapy? This was an example I discovered. And what I discovered was the therapy session actually started a day before I went and carried over for a day afterward, because I would kind of prepare what am I going to talk about, start checking in about the progress that I'd made. Then I have the session, then there was kind of the processing, integrating what was happening. So it really spread out, but that focus was there. Unconsciously, I was beginning to build and prepare for that moment. The same way you're going to find with your regular uh, thing, using example of the gym. When I first started, oh shit, I got to go to the gym. And I associated the pain with working out. No, the pain was not working out and then having to start again from scratch. Because after a couple of years of being in shape, then I look forward to working out. And if I didn't work out, I felt this absence. Can anybody
Right.
relate to these examples?
Right.
So you really think in terms of reprogramming your biocomputer. You're in control of the input. Where you take this brain, do you marinate it in a company of calm people? No, limbic resonance. You're around calm people, your brain is going to get a signal. It's safe to begin to let go and relax. If you're around agitated people, um, the way 98% of the people you run into during your week, your brain is going to vibrate to that energy. So, uh, you know,
But finding that place, that safe, sacred space, like the yoga mat, the minute I sit there,
yeah,
my whole day goes away, and I am present and focused. Um, and uh, and yes, it is a form of meditation, but I think we could all create that same little space for a formal meditation. Um, for me, more regularly than once a week here on the screen.
mhm.
Um,
So also begin to notice the aura afterwards, that you begin to start in your preparation and then it carries over into your day. So, one of the things we can learn from the Muslims is that they pray 5 times a day. Okay. So, what is their purpose of that prayer? Well, the purpose of the prayer is to remember you're not in control. There's a power greater than you, and it's not you, you're not God, and you need to be in right relationship with that. Get your hands off things. So it's a beautiful cultural way of keeping their spiritual focus. What if we were an enlightened society and 5 hours a day a bell rang and you had 10 minutes to go sit and meditate? How different would our culture be? And so when you begin to see that's the mystical training behind the external rituals. Okay, the external rituals just currently, oh, damn, it's time to get up my prayer rug and bow. No, it's not. It's that I'm getting reset. I'm touching that place of relaxed, focused awareness, and that's going to carry over until the next time to pray. So I'm hitting those little filling stations is one way.
Mm.
So, when you get a little more advanced in your meditation, how many of you are beginning to experience that sense of calm and peace settle into you? Not every time, but then carry over into your day a little bit. Anybody get that? Okay, good, good.
I've gotten it through. I was doing a guided meditation and experimenting with imagining yourself breathing through your head, the top of your head or your feet. And the one that stuck with me was through your belly button. And I'll feel my stomach rise throughout the day, and it's almost like I automatically feel it, and the calmness will just kind of set in a little bit there. It's been like she was talking about earlier, being able to have a moment throughout the day, and it's like I can feel my belly rise and imagine the breath come into my body, and it's that's been really helpful and getting me to a state throughout the week.
Right. And that's beautiful, Jeremy. That's where I want to go. Part of what she's saying to you is don't use the fact that meditation doesn't work for you as an excuse to stop meditating, because you'll find some other teaching that incorporates what your problem is. Okay. So here I am trying to breathe through my head, doesn't work. Trying to breathe through my hand, doesn't work. Breathe through my belly button, bam. Okay, now I get it. That becomes the focus of your practice. And then expand from that to try sensing where you feel that movement of energy most. So for some people, having a regular practice will work. That's what she's saying, and they'll drive benefit. For people like me, no, that's not going to happen. All right, because I'm more a follow the energy and find when do I need it in my day? When do those opportunities come? So that's why I talk about drive-by meditation. While I'm stuck at a traffic light, drop in, feel my body, relax the grip on the wheel, release my butt cheeks, get oriented to the external world. Um, so that's why we have these discussions. If you're hitting a block, like too much energy, you don't know how to handle it, bring it here. If you're finding doing a regular morning meditation work, well, come ask, what else could I be doing? So it's just like in the yoga that Linnell teaches. It's like, do your version of the pose, do what works. And if you can't even do the beginning aspect of this pose, do something else, but stay present, stay in your body, stay engaged. So basically, there's no excuse, is the answer. No matter what you think of as a problem, it's not a problem. There is a way out. There's always a way out and into this present moment reality.
Yeah, I'm always shocked if I do get a second meditation in the day, whether it's even early afternoon or evening, how different my day goes, the better choices I make, how in touch I am. I mean, it's it's revelatory for me to get a second. And the funny thing is, my system fights it more, fights losing that control, so much that maybe like 3 or 4 times a week, maybe even twice a week do I get a second meditation. But every time I do it, I go, I do that. It's almost a revelatory experience.
Great. So, I hope you heard this in closing, who they did the study on for mindfulness. First responders, okay, elite athletes. These are not people who have very relaxed external worlds to operate and function in. And we forget that it is a warrior tradition. It comes out of Kung Fu and teachings of Bodhidharma, the Chan school of meditation in China. So any area of your life, this can be applicable. Okay, Omi.
All right. Here we go. 3 rounds of Om. Deep breath in.
Wow.
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 Right.
Okay, see you next week. How many of these are there? 8?
No, I think there's just like 4.
4.
It's an introduction to meditation.
Oh, God. Ready?
Yeah.
Oh.
Love you guys. See you next week.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
See
you.
y'all
Hope we see you
soon.
too.
Have a great week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Where'd you
Bye-bye.
get that shirt, Bart?
Ask Linnell. She got it
Old
from
Navy as a kindness shirt.
I'll
Old Navy.
find one of those.